1, 2, 3. This is the Cider Ranch Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Mike.
What's up, all you pizza crusts and chicken tendies? Thank you for diving into episode 20 of the Cider Ranch Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Mike.
And we haven't done a Ben and Mike podcast in a while. We've kind of been had a lot of guests on, and people have been telling us, they've been like, we love the guests, but we want to hear just more kind of between you two. And I thought, you know what? We actually just interviewed another guy, Rick Dahlwell, TSN 1040. Check him out. We just posted it. And we thought, let's just do one more. We'll do episode 20. We'll make it just Mike and I kind of celebrating that 20 of them and doing another one. I think that it might be kind of cool to maybe do like maybe a preview episode of some other things that we have coming on.
Oh, I like that. So we're basically using this as like a preamble to the next stuff. Ooh, I like your style.
I know. So
I like your style, baby.
Shut up.
Sorry, I love your style though.
So in previous episodes,
Yeah. Sorry, go on. I'm getting a little excited here.
I know.
Do you want to know why I'm getting excited? Because I'm gonna get ice cream later. And I'm gonna go check out some bookstores. It's gonna be a chill day.
Here's something.
I'm just pumped. It's
I
gonna be
thought that you were fasting because you've got me on the fasting
Yeah.
train. So I've been fasting now. I've realized that I've been losing some weight.
Proud of you.
And I don't eat like a fat ass anymore.
Nice.
I do one on weekends. Usually I'm eating pretty clean throughout the week.
Yeah.
I'm usually doing like an 18-6 kind of fast, or maybe like I almost do 24 sometimes.
Yeah.
But I've been doing fasting and I've been losing weight.
Proud of you.
So how have you been enjoying the fasting?
I like it, but it's just hard for me because, well, I shouldn't say it's hard, but it's more difficult because with running every day and stuff, I'm just finding I don't have the same energy if I fast for long periods of time.
Yeah.
If I do like a 16/8 or like an 18/6 fast, like intermittently, I can do that. And it's okay. And I have high energy levels and stuff, especially when I run. But if I do like 20 plus, 25 hours plus, and I go for like a long run, I'm
too hard on you, eh? It's too tough.
Fuck off. It actually does. It
time to assert Dom. My last really long fast.
Rude time.
51 hours. Now, some people are gonna be like, "Oh no, you need to eat during this time. You need to do this." Well, actually, there's a lot of health benefits to eating after 48 hours. Your body actually starts to go into a state called autophagy, which is actually the regeneration of like new cells and getting rid of old cells. So actually, think back to times where like hunters and gatherers and shit like that, where they didn't eat for sometimes days. Now your body can actually go for a long time without food. It needs water. And I've found that a lot of times what happens when you're fasting is that your body isn't hungry. It's mistaking it for being thirsty. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll have tea, I'll have water, some like non-zero calorie kind of thing. And it'll make me feel a lot better. So
I think
I'm still starting Dom on you.
Well,
I did 51 hours.
Go ahead, keep going.
You've got to beat it now.
I will beat it, but it's just going back to what you were saying about fasting and how like you get that feeling of hunger. It's a hormone called ghrelin. So it's produced. I'm just reading off Wikipedia.
Isn't she a talk show host?
I'm reading off. Yeah. I'm reading off Wikipedia because I want to sound smart. But ghrelin is a hormone that is produced and released mainly by the stomach with small amounts, and also released by the small intestine, pancreas, and brain.
Oh, okay.
Ghrelin has numerous functions. It is termed the hunger hormone because it stimulates appetite, increases food intake, and promotes fat storage. So if you can actually get over that ghrelin feeling where you're like, oh, I'm really hungry, I have to eat. If you can get over that.
So your ghrelin's growling.
Your ghrelin's growling. A lot of people like get too pumped up about it. They're like, oh, I have to eat, I'm dying. Oh, I need to eat right now. When it's only been like 3 hours. But in actuality, you can wait.
It's funny when I started it because on Wednesday we did the interview with Nick Smirlia, which is actually how you pronounce it. I totally butchered it first time. When we did the interview with Nick Smirlia, I was like 4 or 5 hours into it. So by the Friday morning, I had gone like it was like 50 something hours, and I realized too that after a certain while, you actually get kind of this mental clarity. So after you can kind of push through, like you're saying, the hunger part of things, it actually gets to a point where you're not hungry and you can just drink water. And then after that, what happened with me, is that my appetite actually went down a bit. I thought I'd be super hungry because I was going to eat with you guys. Remember, we had like a poker night.
Yeah.
And so I thought I was going to be able to eat all this copious amounts of food, be able to drink whatever the hell I wanted. I was full after having a couple pieces of pizza, and maybe that's like my body resetting, because it totally resets your insulin levels, it resets like your cortisol levels, all that kind of stuff. And even talking about fasting for more than 12 hours, all that stuff starts to kick in.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'm enjoying it. I'm finding it's not as hard as I think it would be. Anyways, that's like the whole part of the fasting. I really wanted to get into chatting about a couple things that you've ordered, and they have arrived.
Yeah, we have them, but we haven't really planned out how we're going to do it yet.
Yeah.
So we have what's called surströmming, which is that Swedish fish in a can that's extremely smelly.
Not the candy.
So it's actually considered the smelliest fish in the world, or the smelliest food in the world. It's actually worse. I don't know if people know what durian fruit is, but it's in Asian countries, and it's like the only way to describe it is that it smells like a dirty diaper. So when you open up a durian fruit, it smells like 1,000 dirty diapers all at once, and that's just basically what it smells like. It's horrible. And then with
1,000 diapers, come on you.
1,000 diapers, yeah. 1,000. Sorry.
Compose yourself. It's okay.
But surströmming apparently is a worse smell than durian.
Hello, Sir Strumming. Are you here for me? No, I'm here to...
Hello, sir. No, it's surströmming, not Sir Strömming. Hello, my name is Sir Strömming. I was knighted in 1863.
I'm just imagining this Swedish nobleman that just stunk whenever he visited, like, the king.
Yeah.
And the king was always like to his wife, is this guy like leaving? What's going on?
Is this
would
guy
just come and stink up the fucking castle?
Is this guy for real? Is he actually coming to stink up our castle?
Yes. And he would just come into the castle and he would just stink it up. And then there was a fish nearby, and the king just said, well, slap a name onto that fish.
Sir
Stink time, let's go.
Strömming.
Yeah.
That's how it ended up.
Yeah, and that's the humble beginnings of...
Great. Hey, aren't we still doing something? Are we still getting our something wet?
Are we? I think we are still getting
our feet wet.
Yeah.
I think this episode is more just for fun, and just like, I'm excited because we haven't done this in a while. It's more like we haven't really chatted just one-on-one on a podcast in a while. So I think it's definitely a little different. I feel like with our guests, we're developing more of like a relationship with that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard going back to what it used to be. But it's good too, because I think we need to sprinkle this in because it's fun. It's not like we're doing it because we don't want to do it. We actually really enjoy doing this. We just got to get back into it and create more of a game plan.
I think people like that. I think our fans, and I think our family and friends and people that are listening, I think would agree that they enjoy the guest aspect of the podcast, but I think that they also enjoy our back and forth as well, just ripping into each other or just chatting about different stuff. Like, I want to get into movies again too and talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So don't worry, we're not going anywhere. I heard that we're still.
Yeah.
I'm still fucking talking.
I heard you're a big movie guy. You're into movies now? Are you into movies?
What do you think, buddy?
What kind of movies do you like, man? Do you like thrillers, horrors, crime dramas?
I like political thrillers. I like
polythries.
What's a poli-sci?
No,
you going back in university, buddy?
Polythry. If you paid attention, it's short for political thriller. But if you didn't understand, that's fine.
Here's what we have.
Go on.
Aaron and I have. So there's this. So the show was canceled, and I feel what's been going on in Hollywood, and just also like even for shows that get canceled off of like Fox or CBC or what have you. I find a lot of shows, and this could be just me just being elitist. I find a lot of shows that have a lot of like thought put into it, and maybe takes a bit more mental strength to watch them and to figure out what's going. These shows get canceled so early because I just think that the typical audience just doesn't want to be bothered. It's like going to a movie and people going after Inception and going like, I didn't understand it at all. That was stupid. Well, sorry, have a bit more of a fucking brainstem when you're watching something. And so we've been watching this show called The Exorcist on Netflix. And I don't care whether or not you believe in Christianity. I don't care if you believe in that shit at all. I really enjoyed it from the perspective of how they were trying to teach something. And how like these kind of two priests had totally separate beginnings. So one priest was kind of this guy who went through Catholic school and did it that way. And he wants to run his own church. And another guy is kind of this. He's kind of fallen from grace, and he hasn't really he hasn't heard God's voice in a long time. And he's like kind of like it's almost like a bad boy priest, if you will. And they work with each other, and they go to different areas in the States or in the world, and they like touch upon people who are possessed, and they try to fix them. But it delves into the whole capturing the soul of someone and saving someone's soul, and getting into like the politicalness, that's not a word, getting into the politics of like the Catholic Church and things like that. And we've been watching that got canceled. It's over now. That was really good.
Yeah.
And we've just been we've been into a lot of just creepy shows lately too. I don't know, I think that Netflix doesn't have a lot going on right now in terms of that, but the Exorcist was really creepy. It was great. Man, people know this about me as well. I mean, my nostalgia for Pokemon. Oh my God, I've been watching the Indigo League on Netflix. I'm getting into Pokemon, and it's just amazing. Ash kind of is a stupid trainer, but I mean, I just love watching the episodes of all the Pokemon evolving.
Yeah.
Charmander going into Charmeleon, evolving into Charizard. It doesn't get fucking better than that.
Okay, stop. Okay, you've got
Charmeleon having to
stop.
Charmeleon evolves into Charizard.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And to fight an Aerodactyl.
You know, I was listening to you just now. You've gone from at least 9 topics at once. You went from.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I know.
What did you talk? What was the first thing you chatted about? You were talking about Polythries. And then you went to Pokemon, but you talked about like 100 things in between.
Yeah.
I think once we actually listen back on this episode, I'm pumped because I'm
hot garbage.
There's gonna be 2 things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna chirp you, and I'm also gonna love it. Sick is right.
I'm waiting for
it.
What about the fucking gummy bears, baby?
Oh yeah, so we got the Surstroming, and we also have the gummy bears, the world's hottest gummy bear. So we got 3 of those. So
I've been watching those hot ones episodes, or on those the guy where like Gordon Ramsay did one. Like
Gordon Ramsay's was really good because. I don't know if you guys watch the hot ones on YouTube. It's with Sean Evans, and he has a lot of like really famous people that come on.
How does he do it?
He's been doing it for years. He's been doing it for like 7 years.
Doesn't bother him
because he's been doing it for so long. He's got a tolerance for it.
Holy shit!
But he has a bunch of people on, and he just had Gordon Ramsay on, which was like a big meme.
Fuck me! Wow.
I actually think he had Ramsay.
Fuck you, big boy. Fuck off.
I think he had Gordon Ramsay on a while ago. He had Gordon Ramsay on. Hold on, just 1 second. I'm just gonna look it up here. He had Gordon Ramsay on over a year ago.
I only say that because I get into things where I will binge watch like a certain person. So right now, my thing right now is Pokemon and Gordon Ramsay. A few months back, I was only watching things with Tom Hardy, and it was like I was listening to like one music group, because what I'll do is I'll exhaust everything of one person. If I get into something, I want to read everything about them. I want to watch everything about them. I want to listen to everything about them.
100%.
And so with Gordon Ramsay, like there's this other guy named Schaefer Bates on YouTube, and he does this amazing impression of it. And it's so funny. He does these skits of like Gordon Ramsay, and he's got the lingo down. He's got the facial expressions down. He's got like his body expressions.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And like I've been getting Gordon Ramsay. And so when I listened to the one of the hot ones, the Gordon Ramsay episode where he was eating the hot wings was hilarious, because he came with a bag kit with things. Like he was like spraying lime juice on like the hottest one.
And
he give him credit. He did it. Neil deGrasse Tyson champed all of them. He did all of them.
Good.
Yep.
The thing about
I don't know if I could.
Did you know Gordon Ramsay's video on Hot Ones has 66 million views? And the next one is Billie Eilish, and she has
Richard Eyelash,
and she has 37 million. So it's almost double the amount for Gordon Ramsay. 66 million views.
There's a guy.
That's 3 times the episode with Shaq, almost 3 times the episode with Kevin Hart, almost 3 times the episode with Post Malone. Yeah. It's insane.
Post Malone gets through it as well. Post Malone gets all of it while drinking. He doesn't drink milk. He drinks a beer with it.
I think a lot of them make it through. I just think there's like a couple that just, I don't know. There's a couple that they cop out pretty early.
The thing with Ramsay as well is that a lot of, he can totally be a prick to people, but a lot of that is a shtick, and he's said that before. He'll be like, I do demand perfection. I expect a lot out of myself. I also expect a lot out of the people that have made it to places like Hell's Kitchen. Like we're talking an elite 20 people that should be able to cook, that aren't having this opportunity for basically a worldwide stage and culinary recognition. Yeah. And so he does get into those moments where he goes over the edge sometimes. A lot of that is for show. A lot of that is, is some of his personality, but a lot of stuff where it seems like he's getting like too ratty with people.
Yeah.
It's totally for show. And like you've seen him with like MasterChef on for kids. He's a sweetheart with kids. Like he's totally like that. And if you truly, let go of your vulnerabilities and want help from him, especially in shows like Hotel Hell, he's totally compassionate. Where he gets into trouble or where he gets really pissy is when someone comes in and is like, "Oh, this is fine. We have the best food in the world," and he's like, "No, it's shit." Like I don't think you're gonna. He knows what's good and what's not.
The thing is, he's really good at bringing people back down to earth.
Totally.
People get too not humble. People get too into themselves, and their ego gets too high. And the problem is, like, there's a time to have an ego, and there isn't. And unfortunately, with a lot of these guys, they don't seem to understand that. Hey, leave it at the door. How about you actually start making good food, and then let other people tell you it's good instead of. I mean, there's a certain level of confidence that comes with it, and you need that. But there's also a cockiness that goes with some of that too. And I feel like it translates into life and other aspects, and people just don't get it. I think if you have humility, you need to have confidence. Don't get me wrong. But if you go hand in hand with that, I think you're going to be okay. I think the problem is where people have too much cockiness, or they feel like, hey, I'm the best, when they're literally not. Yeah. It's like that. It's like, I think we brought it up before, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Yeah. Have we said this on the podcast before? Yeah. It's when you know so little about something, but you feel like you're an expert.
Yeah. It's a psychological, like, it's a theory, but it has a lot of merit to it.
So hold on. I got a question for you before you begin.
Yeah.
Can you let the audience know again what you majored in?
I took psychology.
Sorry, what?
At UFV.
At what?
Psychology.
Sorry, I don't think the audience has heard this before in multiple episodes. Do you mind explaining again what you majored in? Because I genuinely, I heard what you said just now, but I just want to make sure the audience gets clarified.
When I took psychology, so I have a psychological background, you don't. I can talk about these things and you shouldn't. Honestly, your mouth should be kept shut.
Yep, it's going to strap down. I'll never chat again.
I honestly think that effect is I love those types of things because you'll see it in society a lot of the times. Yeah. I fall prey to it. There'll be a lot of times where fuck off.
No, I do it too. I'm saying I do it too. I didn't mean. I wasn't chirping you, okay?
Yeah, you were.
Are we done?
It was a subtle chirp.
It actually was a subtle chirp.
Yeah. But you'll see it. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Are you gonna? Don't put a hole in my floor.
I'm not.
You will see it. Like, I guess a tiny example will be like, if you'll be chatting with someone about something.
Yeah.
And let's say neither of you know too much about something, but a lot of times someone will take the upper hand with something and they will talk about one clip they saw on TV from an expert, or they'll talk about something they heard on the radio from a doctor that said something about, like the latest medication.
Yep.
And because they've heard the information, but none of the research themselves, they feel like they have kind of a leg to stand on and can speak about it in volume, when really you can't. You've heard secondhand information, you haven't done your research, and that effect is so interesting because you'll see and like there'll be like confidence of what they're talking about, and it's like it's a really interesting effect.
I do it all the time. Oh, look, I heard about a piece of news in Canada, for example, for 5 minutes on the radio. And then I go into work. Hey, did you hear about this? Yeah, I know all about this. No, I don't know all about it. Yeah. I heard one person's opinion. I heard a newscaster talk about it. And now I'm talking about it to everyone. Yeah, I saw that. I heard that this morning. Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between being informed and having a conversation in the morning. Like the typical read the newspaper in the morning and have something to chat about at the old water cooler.
The old water cooler.
But then there's a difference between feeling extremely knowledgeable about it and then feeling like you don't know anything. So it's definitely interesting. That definitely has a real effect.
Maybe we should do a bit on like just these psychological theories.
Sometimes. Maybe, but
like psychology. What I majored
the only problem with that though is I didn't take psychology in. Well, I did. I can
teach you some things.
I almost minored in it, but because I don't have it on my degree, I'm not allowed to talk about it because you're the only one that has the power. So
I have the credentials,
you are truly the professional and expert on that. Yes. So I will seize conversations about that, and we will continue being friends. But I don't think I'll have the expertise to continue on with this type of conversation.
And just know that when we do have conversations about that you were under me.
So are you saying that I'm beneath you?
Yeah.
When we talk about it, or all the time?
That's the third time I've asserted Dom. Yeah.
By the way, assert Doms. What do you guys think of assert Dom hats? Would you guys be interested in some merch? We're talking about like maybe starting at like a bit of a merch thing because we've got some cool quotes and stuff. Like assert Dom, Soar, Cider Ranch, but I don't want to just put like a bottle. I think like a bottle of ranch, that would be kind of cool. But like if we did it, like we did some like merch stuff, can you guys let us know on our Instagram or
Yeah.
on our Twitter or on Anchor, or send us a voice note? Can you guys let us know if merch would be something you'd be interested in? Because we definitely want to get that going. Even if it's something small, we can get it out there to you guys. Maybe sell a couple shirts or a couple hats. I think it'd be kind of cool to get that out there. What do you think, Ben?
I agree. I think that moving forward, I think that it's something that would be really cool. Like, even Aaron was saying, like, I'd wear like a hoodie, maybe something, or like I think people would wear a hat. Who knows? And I mean, like, it might flop, but I think it'd be an idea where like people might like to wear that type of shit. I would love to wear a hat or something like that. I think it'd be sick.
But the thing is, you don't want to make it look too cartoony. You don't want to make it too lame. You want it to be like kind of cool.
Yeah.
So like you almost you want people to wear it, right? You don't want it to just say side of ranch on it. I feel like people wouldn't wear that.
Yeah. I don't want a shirt where it's like, ask me about my podcast. That's not the intent. That is so cringe.
Then we're getting into like,
that's simp territory. I'm so good.
Simpson Swords, baby. By the way, if you guys haven't listened to episode number 14, Cider Ranch, it's called Simpson Swords, where many Lord of the Rings voice impressions are unfortunately articulated. That would be an awesome one for you guys to check out. Also, if you guys haven't had the chance yet, check out episode 16 through 19, because on episode 16, we talk about Trevor Abney, 17, Triathlon Taryn, 18, Nick Cimarillo, who, by the way, just blew up on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Yeah.
He was on there with Sebastian Maniscalco. Phenomenal. Make sure you guys check that out. Also, episode 19 with Rick Dollywall from TSN, which was awesome. The guy was very genuine. All in all, I think we've had some really good guests on.
Yeah. I loved actually the last one we just did. I loved chatting with Rick. I think I think in the beginning I was really opposed to him because I hated his takes on when he was at like Sportsnet 650 and now TSN 1040. So for those of you that don't know, like Rick Dollywall he's a sports personality. He does lots of sports radio in Vancouver. And just talking with him, just his ability to just help out and just be able to communicate to us that like, hey, if you guys ever need a hand with something or you ever want to reach out, like don't hesitate, And I think that we found in the community that with people that we think maybe wouldn't have wanted to do that, it's actually quite the opposite. This community is really really good for extending their reach and their hand to help people like us that are just starting, just still getting our feet wet.
Yep.
And yeah, I think the conversation with him was great. I loved his you can listen to it in episode 19, but what stuck with me was his he seemed really passionate. It was like, even when you were like listening to him talk about it, as soon as he mentioned the story with like the junior B team playing poker with the the kids in the back of the bus, just like, it was really cool because you could see he loved that experience. He loved commentating junior B hockey. He loved playing with those kids. He loved making those relationships. And he was saying, you got to be passionate about something if it'll shine through in your work. And he mentioned that kind of was where he got his got his start, and it just kind of took off from there. And he's like, I've just always wanted to share my experiences with that. And he was just really, again, just genuine.
So genuine. And the cool thing too is like I'm sure like on the radio he doesn't get a chance to talk about like his how he started that much.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing that we like to do too. Talk to people that we want to talk to, have these interesting conversations, and then it's something that we both value.
Interesting conversations with interesting people.
Yeah,
totally.
Definitely a cool segue into kind of what our new bio is going to look like, and well, I'm sure, like I said, guys, we're still moving along, so we might change it here as we go, and we might, we might change some things around, but I think Ben and I are really liking the way this podcast is going, and we feel like we're getting a lot of support on Instagram. We just cracked over 200 followers, which is a huge thing for us. But we're also looking at it as a turning point, because our content's getting more, like the quality is getting better.
Yep.
The guests, we're getting a lot of guests on. We're just slowly starting to add more. We're creating a schedule. It's turning into more of a business / side hustle.
Yeah.
And it's not overwhelming. It's been fun. Yeah. It's not, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like we're just hanging out, having a beer and just enjoying it, chatting with you guys. And we want to keep that going.
Yeah. 100%. I totally agree with Mike. And guys, like, not to sound simpy, but like reach out to us through Instagram, send us a voice note on Anchor, like, subscribe to us, like our stuff, give us some hints on what you guys want to hear. It's can be hard sometimes to come up with ideas, but getting feedback right from the horse's mouth sometimes is the best way to see. It's the best way to, like, actually get that feedback and to hear what you guys want. We'll play the message on Anchor. We'll talk to you directly. It's there's just, we can't grow without feedback. And so, and the feedback that we have gotten so far has been great, and we appreciate everyone's support. And
keep giving us feedback, guys. If there's guests you want to hear, we're open to getting anybody. If there's somebody you want, let us know, and we will do everything in our power to get them. I feel like we've had a lot of success so far with getting people on, and people that we want to. Yep. And I just think as long as we're approaching them properly and we're genuine, I think we're surprising ourselves with the amount of guests we're getting and the quality of guests.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, anything we want to say to wrap this thing up for everybody?
Thank you once again for dipping in one more time.
If you had a choice between a tendy or a crust right now, what would you dip into that ranch? A tendy.
If I'm full and getting to my limit, I might not want to eat another full tendy. I'll take some crusts.
What about a half tendy?
If I'm hungry, I'm going for the tendy every single time.
That crunch though.
That sweet crunch.
You know what else is sweet? This podcast. Everybody, thanks again. Take care. Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.